trail. I'm looping through the lava lamp, leaving a tail. My whoop's got rhythm, my stick's got soul. I'm the pilot of the party. On a roll, TV remote's a gate, the lamps a dive. I'm flying like it's 7.5. No GPS, no rules, no shame. Just a funky little quad and a soul train. We fly that flow, grab that gap. No time to nap, no time to nap. Hit that roll, funk and control, bounce that wall, we fly it all, we fly it all. I got my goggles on, my socks are off. Flying through the hallway like a disco moth. Pitching to the couch, then I loop through the fan. My tiny whoop's grooving like a funky jam. I dip through the doorway, spin by the cab, bounce off the toaster, yeah, I meant to do that. Neighbors knocking, saying, what's that sound? It's my brush motor soul train getting down. Flying through the curtain, dancing on breeze, freestyle funk in my living room with ease. Tiny whoop magic, bumping every wall. I'm the James Brown of flight, can't stop it all. I got LED strobes and a shag rug trail.
What's up, friends? I'm sick and I look like hell. And I forgot to turn these lights on. But Kevin Sumner's here. Let's see if the audio is working.
Hey, folks.
Ooh, it is. Okay, I just need to bring his levels up a little bit. I'm going to bring it up to 0 dB. Give me a little sound check, Kevin.
Checking 1, checking 2. Does that sound good? Am I better
All right,
yet?
that works.
Does your UV meter look hot? All right.
Perfect. All right. Hey, that was the 7-inch builds. With one pass of tuning help from Brandon's Baked Beans with HQ 7 by, what are these, 4.5? I think they're 7 by 4.5. Yeah, 7 by 4.5 glass fiber. Ooh, hold on. Is it grabbing the audio from the wrong place? It's grabbing the audio from the wrong place, isn't it? Let me check. It sure is. Don't do that, computer. Hold on. When I use these AirPods, I don't know why it does this. This is very weird. Hold on. Let me fix this. It's a good thing that I'm sick. I have a good excuse. For fuck's sake, leave me alone. Do that. There we go. Sound, and then input, not the AirPods. Isn't there? Can't you just not? There we go. That's better. Okay. Good. Good mic. Let me just check it. Yep. Okay. We're all set. There's no. Is there really no option to like not use? Do I have to do this every time? I have to remember to do this every time. Okay. Well, you know. Sounds about right. Yeah, I got 7.5 minutes from this with a 6S 1500 battery. Kind of crazy runtime. I did like a 1.5 line of sight, clearing the leaves off the roof, and then what you were just watching is me flying around the neighborhood, and where I stopped it there was when I started clearing leaves off the roof. So like 7.5 minutes, probably 4 minutes of which were basically hovering, cleaning leaves off the roof. pretty cool. Good efficiency. I don't. I feel like a lightweight 5-inch rig could get pretty close to that, but in theory, not while cruising 50, 60 miles an hour. So we'll see. I'm gonna spend some more time with it. It was snowing today, really, really cold. And Kevin, you said see if I can share OBS screen with you.
Yeah, OBS screen with me.
Let's see that. Let's see if I can figure that out. Probably not, but allow. Yes, sure. Kevin Sumner, OBS. Sure.
Nope. Now just watch. This is going to crash everything. Oh, hey, there it is. That's perfect.
Awesome. All right. Good to go. Cool. Can everybody hear Kevin okay? What's up, chat? Matthew Wegner was first. You can FPV. Frank Nicholas, Nyafu, FizzPV. Kevin Sumner's in the chat as well. Bob Noxious, Frank Nicholas. It's Render. Jimmy the Cow. Denzel the Terrible. Tamava. Howdy Newbie. Aber the Ham. Jimmy the Cow again. You can FPV again. Advisory Labs. That's such an official name. For Sizzle. Bob Grattan. Denzel again. Andrew Taylor. For Sizzle again. Howdy Newbie. You can FPV. Alec Dvornik. Uriel. Howdy Newbie again. It's Render. I'm just going to say CRO. DR4SI. It's Crow. Is it Crow? Maybe it's Crow. It's Crow now. Skull 901. Hail FPVRC. Natter FPV. Howdy Newbie. Uriel again. Kevin Sumner again. Tamava. FPV Candy. Howdy Newbie. Kevin Sumner. Whoop Fox. Tamava. P Money. Look at all these beautiful people. You silly sons of bitches. Tonight's gonna be all over the place. I'm in that like sick, like I'm in that phase of sickness where like my brain is just off on an island on its own, making decisions that normal me doesn't necessarily agree with, but it's okay because I have the excuse of being sick. So, forgive me for any insanity that gets perpetuated through this live stream tonight. Can I be like a fucking Sith tonight?
Duel of the Fates playing through my head. You see what you've done?
Whoop Fox says night cool shots. Hey, if you want to talk to me in the chat, type at CiottiFPV. You can't just type CiottiFPV anymore because YouTube is unbelievable. You got to type at CiottiFPV. If you want to get each other's attention, you got to type at, and then the weird name that they originally chose before they were able to change their name. Because why not? If you're not going to make things better, you make them worse. That's you got to keep up with everybody else. So there's that. Massive thank you to Brandon's Baked Beans for helping me with that 7-inch tune. The 5-inch kind of basic tune that was on there, it worked. But the motors were getting a little hot, and when Brandon dove into the black box log, he had me make all kinds of changes. 7-inch builds are weird, mainly because they're turning such a low RPM, and the arms are so long that the resonance frequency of the vibrations is a lot lower, down below 200 hertz. And below 200 hertz, that's where the actual motion of the quad is. And so, you can't really just drop a notch filter at 120 hertz, because if you then go to just fly the quad and spin it at that same frequency, it's going to be, the filters are going to be fighting against the actual motion of the quad, and it's all bad. But Brandon has tuned loads of 7+ inch rigs, apparently, because he's just a magician and just was like, here, do this and do this and do this and do this and do this. I flew it today in the absurdly cold, and the motors were absurdly cold when they came down. It's always kind of hard to tell when you fly in this cold of a temperature, but I'm also flying it on biblades now, which are notoriously more vibey than tri-blades, and so for the motors to come down totally cold like this, and for me to get such a long run time, what the changes that he had me make are obviously working. I took another log and I sent it to him, so hopefully he can take a look and say like, yes, the changes did work. And then maybe there's like one more little round of changes, and at that point it's ready to go. I'm hoping that I can convince him to. I'm hoping that I can switch a bunch of propellers on. I have like 5 different sets of big ass 7-inch props. I'm hoping I can take a log. I'm hoping I can convince him to take a look at 5 logs, one from each set of propellers, and hopefully I bring him on like this as audio, and he can talk to us about what he sees in those different logs. Much less about like these specific propellers, but like what can we learn from black box logs about different propellers? What can or can't we learn, right? Like in theory, we can tell how well balanced they are. In theory, we can tell how light they are from the response time. Maybe there's other stuff that we can tell. I don't know. I think it's super interesting, and I've never really heard anybody else kind of dive into that. So I think that might be fun. If he's got time, that would be super awesome. And so, yeah, that's my plan, to browbeat Brandon into that sooner than later. But I want to get the tune like into a half decent place before we go there, right? So, yeah. Kevin, I saw that you did a couple builds the other night. What'd you do?
So I put together a couple of my first 2S75 builds. They are in Discord. I've dropped them in Discord, although they're probably buried because Discord has been busy lately. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, there's
Your
a lot of
Discord
good
server
stuff
has been
going on over there.
Anyway, they're let's see, they are Mobula 7 V3 frames with HD0 AIO 15s because I'm on the HD0 train, with the HD0 Lux camera in them, 0802 like 19,000 kV, just random motors that I had from back when 19,000 kV was the thing that you did for 65 mil.
Yeah.
And they fly great. I actually had to do some tuning on them today. I rarely have to tune my builds. I just fly Betaflight defaults because I would rather spend time in the air than in a computer. I spend enough time in a computer for my day job. And so I had to turn on and tune dynamic idle for both of these rigs. They did not. It would act like air mode was off, but air mode was on because it would drop the throttle enough that the motors would stop spinning.
That's without it? That was without it?
That was without it, yeah, because it was like the default Betaflight default of like 5.5% static idle percentage. And these motors, for whatever reason,
you didn't try turning that up. You didn't try turning the regular idle up.
I know that I could have, but it was going to be set static at like, I think it needs 11% throttle in order to kick the motors on. So yeah, I decided, hey, let's go down the path of tuning dynamic idle, and I did it and put 4 batteries through one of them this afternoon, and it seems to have worked out the issues. So
what numbers did you end up at?
13. Let's see, it's 13 in the box, which is multiplied by 100. Yeah, so 1,300 RPM, and that was enough. And basically,
in the PIDs tab,
right?
In the PIDs tab, what number did you end up with?
13, which is then
13
multiplied by 100.
Oh my god, dude, that's really low. I've never gotten anything down that low. I mean, I never really try. I usually have them at 30, and then I'll do like 25, and if it still works, I'm like, cool. 13.
So the method that I did for that was basically I went into the motors tab and I ramped it up until all 4 motors kicked on, because these motors are a little crusty, and so some of them take a little bit more juice to kick over, and then backed it off a few notches until they dropped and started sputtering again, and then a couple notches back up, and that was where I left it, and that's what I came up with. Is about 1,300 RPM, keeps them nice consistently running.
Damn, that's really cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
I was going to try to get in here to... for God's sakes. I was going to try to get into Betaflight and show everybody where that's at, but, I mean, it's just in the PIDs tab. It's just called, what is it, Dynamic Idle, I think, in the PIDs tab?
Yeah, it's called Dynamic Idle. Actually, the new configurator shows your Dynamic Idle value in the Motors tab, which is super cool. But you can only set it over on the pits tab. It's over on the right-hand column,
Of
about
course.
2/3 of the way down.
That's mad. It's very weird that they have that in the PIDs tab, but I'm sure there's a reason that doesn't make sense to anyone else but them. But that's okay. Very cool. Very, very cool. And damn, I'm gonna have to try lower values. 13 is just blowing my tits off right now. There we go.
I wanted to bug. I almost bugged Mr. Beans. I don't think he's in the chat tonight, but I almost bugged him on Discord to see like what is the way to tune it. Like a bunch of people talked about it. There's a Bardwell video talking about it, but nobody actually tells you how to tune the damn thing. That's what I need to know. And so I was just like, maybe this will work, and it seems to have ironed out my issues. I flew a couple of hard batteries and didn't have any of those weird, like, you know, you go to a zero throttle and it like now like tips in a weird direction that you're not expecting. It maintained attitude.
Yeah.
So,
it's like a partial desync. That, I mean, dude,
yeah.
that's how I've always heard to tune it, is just to keep lowering it until weird shit starts happening. Less weird shit, more like when you really push it hard in prop wash or just in a hard turn, it'll drop, one of the motors will just stall out, basically. It's pretty obvious when it happens.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, I didn't tell it to do that. Okay. And then you just raise it up a little bit. I wonder if there's a better way to set it, because I mean, although that's pretty straightforward, I don't think you can set it in the OSD. I think you have to plug into Betaflight to change. Yeah, you do. That's right. Last time I was messing around with it, I realized that you can't set it in the OSD. You'll think that you're setting it in the OSD, but it's not actually making any changes. So that's the hardest part, is that you have to fly it, plug it into the computer, launch Betaflight, change it, unplug it, fly it, plug it, fly it. It's kind of annoying, but I mean, if you just go,
that's
like,
why I
if
was
you
like,
God.
that's why I was saying, like, I came up with a way to do it on the bench that I thought might work, and then I test flew it, and it seems to have worked for me. So
That's cool. Very cool. And I mean, to some extent, if you just arm the quad and the motors will not reliably spin, it's too low. So you can at least get it to a point that it's not too low on the bench. So wait, you were able to get it dialed on the bench and then go out and fly, and it wasn't dropping out of the air?
yeah, that's right.
No shit.
And
Okay.
it was just a matter of like making sure that I had a low enough value that also was consistently keeping the motors running, right? And
Sure.
for me on these two machines was 1300 RPM. And that's going to be different, obviously, depending on KV, depending on size of prop, depending on size of motor, etc. So nobody in
also depends on
chat
the
should
AIO.
take these numbers and go and throw them into the Betaflight. No, you have to tune it for every quad.
Yep. Yeah, even the AIO has an effect, and some AIOs will not work with dynamic idle, which is kind of annoying, but welcome to tiny whooping. It's all kinds of shit that's a little bit annoying. Just annoying
Question
enough.
from Danzilla. Danzilla says, do you think minimum idle value would be indicative of that motor's performance? Lower equals more efficient, less rolling resistance. That's a good question.
I don't
know.
I don't think so, because those motors are nothing special that you're running, and I've never seen a value that low. I think we just don't. I think that the default value of 30 is like good enough, and we just don't screw around with it much.
Yeah. Well, the default on these boards was 0. It was using static idle. It wasn't using dynamic idle.
Oh, okay. Sure. Yeah, if you the boards that have it turned off, right? It's gonna be, well, that's how you turn it off, is you zero it out. There's not a switch for it. Very cool. All right, let me get caught up on. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm gonna get caught up on chat, but finish that thought.
To Dan's point, I think that I think there's so many variables around like resistance of the motor, the magnets, both how good the magnets are, how close they are to the stator, how well they wound the motor. Like, I think that there's too many variables to just say like different minimum idle values indicate better or worse motor. I think it's a much more complicated statement than that.
I agree. What is this? What? All right, so we're gonna get caught up on chat. Jimmy the Cat or Denzel the Terrible says, What's with the giant pube on the bottom left of the thumbnail? I don't see a giant pube on the bottom left of the thumbnail. What are we looking at?
Is that just on your monitor, Dan? Go
Yeah.
go rub that spot on your monitor, bud.
Dan, keep your crotch off your monitor. That's a general rule of thumb. Jimmy the Cow says, feel better, damn winter bug. Howdy Newbie says, the drone tuning live stream helped a ton, man. I really appreciate it, and will refer others to it. Very cool. Yeah. Who learned something? Yes, was that yesterday? That was yesterday. Yeah. Who learned something? You Can FPV says, how do we feel about the new Ascent VTX for $35.99? It's incredibly inexpensive, but the fact that it's not backwards compatible is kind of insane, although it also makes sense. I'm assuming the reason they can sell it for $36 is that they're going to have to, we have to buy the new goggles, and so they're going to make the new goggles, they're going to make their money from selling the new goggles. If the new goggles and this VTX are good, though, if you buy enough of these VTXs, it'll be a lot cheaper than DJI and the old school walk snail and stuff like that. So, you know, it could be really good. $36 for a camera and VTX is like analog money. And so, yeah, could be really good. To me, that's going to be dependent on the durability of it. And we just have to wait until people start pounding on them. And so, yeah, I don't know. For $36, I would not expect it to be all that durable. But you never know. You never know. Analog stuff is incredibly durable, and it's cheap.
I also think we should echo what Madstech has been preaching. Like, CADX has a history of stating things about their FPV systems and then not really delivering on them. Sometimes they surprise us with things that they never told us about. Like, I think race mode was one of those. But then, like, there's also Goggles X that a bunch of people bought when they said, oh, yeah, it's going to be compatible with our new system. And, well, here's their new system, and there's no compatibility in sight. The compatibility that they're talking about,
the analog is going to work well, and they said that...
Oh, yeah.
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 CADX's reputation has gotten dragged pretty bad lately, so I don't know. I to be really honest, I don't really care because of that. This new thing, I'm just like, I don't really care right now. If in a couple months people are saying it's great and it's durable, I'll start to care. But right now, I'm just like, you know, you guys are digging yourselves a little bit of a hole here.
Yep.
So,
yep.
All right, cool. Jimmy the Cow says, reminder, we want to learn about water slides on our drones. It's winter and we're bored. Water slides? What? What am I missing? We will learn about water slides on our drones? Tag me again, Jimmy the Cow. Tell me more. Frank Nicholas says, your levels are hot. Yeah, that's what happens when it picks this thing. Whoop Fox says, feel better soon. There we go. Frank Nicholas says, much better on your audio. I thought I'd seen Frank say that. Cool. Tamava says, did you try just bi-blades or tries also on the 7-inch? So, thus far, I have flown, most recently, the HQ glass nylon 7 by 4.5 by 2s, but I've also put it up in the air on Gemfan 7041 by 3s and Gemfan, which are PC, polycarbonate, Gemfan 7035 by 3 glass fiber nylons as well. These are the first props I put it up in the air on, and these props are kind of the part of the reason that I built the thing, because I got a whole bunch of these propellers in a sponsor box from Gemfan ages ago. And then there's another bi-blade that I put it up in the air on that has vanished, but it's the Gemfan 7042. Yeah, Gemfan 7042 bi-blade. It flew on all of them. The bi-blade on so that was like 2 days ago that I put it up on the 2 different tri-blades and the 7042 bi-blades. And that was with like a 5-inch tune, like just a fairly stock, nothing crazy, but nothing specifically catered for big ass propellers tune. The motors got a little bit hotter on the bi-blades, but it was unbelievably, like, it was totally flyable. It was doing a couple weird things, which I did figure out today. I thought that, so it's got a T-motor ESC, 55 amp ESC, and I just kind of assumed that this ESC had high and low PWM set at 24 and 48. Apparently not. It's been, and I can't change that because BLHeli 32 took a weird stand. It's been on 48K the whole time, so I dropped it down to 24. And I'm going to fly it again. But even on 48, it was flying really decent. It should be way better on 24. Because one of the big problems is it doesn't, and you notice this when you yaw, it doesn't have enough motor braking. And so, like, for the way that you notice that on yaw is while you're yawing, it will fire itself up in the air. If you have enough, because yaw is the most difficult axis. Yaw is not an axis that directly has thrust that pushes the thing. It uses the rotation and the centrifugal force of all four motors to get it to rotate. And so if you have a lot of motor braking, it can make thrust on two of the motors and use braking on the other two, and it can rotate itself around pretty effectively. Well, when you don't have enough motor braking, it has to make that rotation to try to hit your set point. And so when it runs out of motor braking, which happens the higher the PWM frequency is, it compensates by just adding more and more and more thrust to the other two motors. And so that's what's been happening, and that just gives it a weird flight characteristic where when you yaw, it increases in altitude. And so, yeah, that should be way better at 24. I really wish that I had updated this ESC before BLHeli 32 went away, but it went away suddenly. We didn't get a lot of warning because for a 7-inch rig, it's pretty important to have that variable PWM, and you really want to have the low 16 down at 16K, and then the high up at 48. With this at 24, I'm not going to get the benefits of 16. It's close. 24 is pretty close. But then I'm also not for motor braking, I'm not going to get the benefit of 16. But then at like full throttle, I'm not going to get the benefit of 48. So this will probably have a little bit less runtime now, but it'll have better characteristics, especially on yaw. So yeah, at some point, if I actually start using this thing professionally, I'll swap the ESC out for something that's AM32, because I'm assuming that they have high and low PWM. Have you used AM32 yet, Kevin?
I have a whole stack of ESCs that I bought from before BLHeli 32 went the way of the dodo, and I flashed those when I heard that there was when the rumor was going around that, oh yeah, like BLHeli 32 is going to disappear off the face of the planet. I took out all of my ESCs, including the spares, and flashed every damn one of them up to 32.10. And I'm glad that I did, because 2 days later, the servers weren't available. So I have been meaning to take those ESCs and then figure out how to flash them over to AM32. It just hasn't been high enough priority. I don't tend to break ESCs on my 3 inches that much. So
it's a nightmare to do it.
Are just chilling.
I've been talking to people about it over the past couple months, and basically, like, on most ESCs, you have to solder to those tiny little pads in the middle of all the chips, which in itself is frustrating enough. But then apparently there's a whole bunch of ESCs that they don't even have AM32 targets for. So there's like a whole bunch of ESCs that you can't. You're stuck. Yeah.
The way to do this is not by soldering. It's to buy, they're called pogo pins. Have you ever seen these?
Right. Yeah. But then you got to hold them there, right? Like, how the hell do you...
You 3D print a jig. You take a picture, and then with some design software, you really easily cut them out, and then you slide them in, and then you 3D print that little jig, and you just hold it down. You hold it down for the time of the flash. Because if I got, yeah, I think I've got ooh, 6 or 8 different Acon ESCs. Those like 35 amp Acon ESCs, and they all
Yeah.
they're all exactly the same. So it's worth my time to do that.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. That's a good call. I have 4 or 5 Acon 30 by 30 35 amps that are just stuck. So I'll just wait for you to do that, and then I'll be like, "Yo, you done with that jig yet, bro?"
It's Render tagged me and says you still have to have the appropriate target for the particular ESC chipset. Yeah, I want to say that mine already have them. They're from the before BL-Heli 32 exploded, but I have just not taken the time yet to figure it all out. Yeah, it's the targets thing is the real bummer. I wish that they had. What I would really love is a nice, easy way to do this without having to like break out the pogo pins and get out your FTDI adapter and go to town on flashing some bootloaders. Like it would have been nice if they released a bootloader unlock before all this.
I can't believe that. I can't believe that there's no solution to this. As a DIY hobby, I can't believe that someone hasn't come out with a magical setup. I think the problem is that when BL-Heli 32 took the servers down, all the targets went away. So I'm sure somebody has figured this out, but without those targets, they don't have to make those, and that's probably a ton of work, or maybe even impossible.
Well, the big problem is that there's the you know how they say that like flight controllers and ESCs are quote unbreakable, that you can't break them. You can always like get them back into DFU mode and flash them again. Well, the way that works is when the microcontroller starts up, it first starts with what's called a bootloader, right? And that bootloader is literally what you're invoking when you press the boot button on a flight controller or whatever. Well, that bootloader is not writable normally. And then that bootloader then starts executing Betaflight or on the ESC's BL-Heli 32 or whatever. Well, the bootloader that is loaded onto BL-Heli 32 ESCs checks a signature of the firmware that it's about to run, and will decline to run any firmware that's not BL-Heli 32 signed. And so we're literally digitally locked out of our ESCs unless you go in and do the manual flashing, and that's the whole AM32 conversion process.
I mean, that's what BL-Heli 32 wanted. So they got it.
And this friends is why we don't trust closed source software.
Yeah. And it's like, as maddening as the whole thing is, the reason that they had for doing it, I don't disagree with, like, these things being used for war, but like, how much of an impact really did it make? I don't know, maybe it did. I don't know, but frustrating. Uriel says, "You look good, Monk." Howdy Newbie says, "How do you look so tan when sick? I get so pale." I'm from the Italy. That's why. It's Render says, I showed up as Render on Spider Sugar's stream last night. I don't care. I don't know if there's a setting maybe somewhere. What?
You have to change your YouTube name, I think, and they're still not fully rolled out with like everybody gets ad names.
Community moderation, participants, moderation activity, timestamps, reactions. No, yeah, it's all turned on. I don't have a whole lot of options. What did Spider Sugar do to get it working? What the shit? I didn't do anything to make it stop working, so I figured that, but weird. Denzel the Terrible says, "Oh Lord, that would be amazing. I totally vote for a Beans log jam." Render says, "I've been flying the HQ 7x4x3 durables, and they've been really nice frequency-wise. They're heavy, but boy, do they take a good hit." Interesting. What I've been doing is, like, every order that I do, I snag 1 or 2 sets of 7-inch props. So, like, at some point I'll have all of them. But I am only going for ones that are high pitch, because the point of this rig is to go fast. So 7x4x3, I don't know if I would go that low of a pitch. Apparently Dal has a 7-inch prop that's like 56 pitch or something like that. So I'll try those. Yeah, I'll just keep buying I'll buy the highest pitch ones first. Eventually, I'm sure I'll lose my mind and buy all the low pitch ones as well because props are cheap and retail therapy works. Denzel the Turbo says, do you think there we go. We talked about that one. CH3FPV says, I was having the same issues with dynamic when I was in acro and chopping the throttle and it was dipping all around. Yep, that means you need more. You need more dynamic idle. Chopping the throttle, throwing it hard into prop wash. Yeah. To be honest, anything that doesn't match set point. Any moments that if you're lowering your dynamic idle or your regular motor idle, if at some point it's the quad stops perfectly following set point being what you're doing on the sticks, you've gone too far and you need to back it off. But that's a good thing because that means that you've found the limit. And so hopefully you've been gradually going down lower and lower and lower. And so then you just go one step up and then fly it a whole bunch more. And then you might even maybe go one more step up because as things age and start, it could... Having it fall out of the air like that is a little bit creepy. So running it absolutely as low as you possibly can, I don't know if that's a great plan. I think you want to go to the point where it becomes obvious that it's too far and then bump it up once or twice at least. Whoop Fox says, you think you can use HD on a 2G4? I have one where the VTX died and want to do something with it like a 1S Cinewhoop. Yeah. If the VTX died and like fully died and like I'm pretty sure on a 2G4 there's a set of pads that are bridged to turn the VTX on. You should unbridge those pads to turn the VTX off because like even if the VTX died, it could still be getting hot and you don't want it. You don't want the battery juice to be running that VTX as well as an HD VTX. So yeah, figure out how to properly turn that VTX all the way off on the 2G4, and then I believe it has enough pads for you to put an external, it should have a set of UART pads, and then you're just going to use the RX and TX, and away you go. So you should be good to go. Jimmy the Cow says, water slide, oh, right, water slide stickers on the tinywhoop. You and I got them from Betaflight. That's right, yeah, we're going to do that one of these days. It's going to be when I start to put some new frames on stuff. That's when we'll do that. When I read water slide earlier in the stream, I was like I was thinking like a water park, like a theme park water slide. I was like, what? Denzel the Trouble says, dropped close up of your not so shirt curly in Discord general nonsense. All right, let's see.
Yeah, I pixel peeped it after we gave Danzilla some crap, and he's totally right. There is some weirdo curly thing in the lower left-hand corner of the dark area.
What is that? What is that? What in the world? Hold on. Let's see. I'm pulling it up. Pulling it up.
Well, while you're looking at that, I am dropping a pinout for the 2G4 in on the Discord in general nonsense. There is a pad prominently labeled in the upper right of that picture to turn off the internal VTX. So that's what you need to unsolder.
Thank you. Hell yeah. Sunday still sick. Oh my god, it's on all of these. What? What? Why is it? What? I think I know what that is. What? Hold on. This is insanity. Here, hold on. Let's see. Okay, it's not on absolutely all of them. Oh, you know what? It might be on all the ones that the back... No, see, it's not on that one. What in the Sam Hill? Hold on. Let's go in here. Wait a second. It's not on this one. Okay, no, I'm stupid. That's really weird. Why is it on all three of the sick ones that have... no background image. That's super odd.
Is that like virus, the green virus image that you're using? Is it in there?
It must be, because that's the only thing that is the same on all three of these. Wow, that's super weird. And it's in the same spot. Yeah, it's got to be that. It's got to be that image. It's probably because it's an Adobe stock image. They snuck that in there. They're like, even if people ignore our Adobe stock watermark here, they won't be able to ignore our pubic hair. Good call. I'm not going to change it.
You know about the thing with maps, right? The like fake roads and like non-existent rivers and stuff that map makers would add as copy protection. Did you not know about this? There's a name for it, and I'm forgetting it. If anybody in chat remembers the name of this, the name of this thing,
I'm
let us
down
know.
with that.
But yeah, it's like they'll have fake roads, they'll have fake river forks and things.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them protecting their IP. All right, what else is happening in chat?
Tamava says paper towns.
Paper towns. That's too funny. Oh my god. Hey, look at that. We're caught up on chat. What do you guys say when you're not tagging me? They won't be able to ignore our pubic hair. Trap streets. Trap street. Yeah, nasty.
So Shannonell 9765 has a question. I think it's for you and I. I'm just getting into FPV, and I'm debating if the DJI N3 is good enough, or if I should go with the G3. I'd be happy for your opinion. I asked them if they're in the US. No, they're in the EU, so the imminent DJI ban does not affect them.
All the reviews of the N3s are amazing, but it's still a box goggle. And so you're still going to feel like a nerd wearing them. Some people don't care about that, and that's awesome. I hope to someday get to that level of self-confidence. But yeah, like every single review that I've even stumbled across at all is just like, these are amazing. But then they all basically say like, these are amazing for a box goggle. They're a lot cheaper, which is great. There is spectator mode, and so like if you get frustrated by them being a box goggle eventually and you go to goggles 3, they'll totally work. This is what most of us that started off FPV early days did. We bought box goggles because they were cheap, and then we eventually went to Fact Sharks and we held on to the box goggles because when we were out flying and somebody was like, "What are you doing? You look like a lunatic." You hand them to them and you say, "Here, look," and they go, "Oh my god, that's the coolest thing ever. I want to do this." And you say, "No, you don't." It's awful.
So some reminders in chat. O4,
yeah,
those are the N4, O4 only, and no race mode. So if either of those things matters to you.
Those are the two big problems. Race mode, much less of a problem than the fact that they're not backwards compatible. The Goggles 3 aren't very backwards compatible either. I mean, they are a little bit backwards compatible, but they don't go all the way back to the old school air units. So it's like, if you can swing it, the Goggles 3 are going to be a better choice. They're going to be lighter. They're going to be easier to put in your bag. They're going to just be better. But if you're trying to just get started and you want to get in as cheap as possible, the N3s are probably a great choice, and they're probably going to hold their value too. Like, this is the other thing with DJI stuff is like, you buy it and then you sell it for damn near what you bought it for. So if you're just trying to get started cheap, the box goggles they'll be great. But realistically, if you stay into this, you'll probably end up getting Goggles 3. If at that point you have to sell the N3s, like, you're not going to take that much of a hit. Christ. By that point, if they've been banned in this country for long enough, you might make money. Like, buying DJI stuff right now, you can approach as like an investment, because America, land of the idiots. So Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong either way, to be totally honest. I think you can close your eyes and point, and you'll be totally fine either way. Anything else you can think
Your
of,
FPV
Kevin?
would like to remind us that all goggles are nerdy. We are nerds. It's okay. I accept that.
It's true. It's true. But it is a special kind of nerd with box goggles. You look like Doc Brown. No, it's not Doc Brown. Who is it?
On Community, they had the like
That's
arc
it.
where
Yeah.
he was
Dean
3D
Pelton.
or Dean Pelton like bought into the VR system.
Yep.
If you
And
haven't seen, they're giant. They're I'm gonna drop a picture of this in Discord because it's
I'm
ridiculous.
doing it.
Okay.
I'm not putting it in Discord. I'm just putting it on the stream. There it is.
Put it on
There it
screen.
is. I can't not. Oh, you bastards! I can't not I can't unsee this. This can't be unseen. Like this is what I feel like we look like, mouth open and all. So.
What's the quote? It's worlds within worlds.
Worlds within worlds, and Jesus wept. He says Jesus wept over and over and over again. That episode, it's absolutely hysterical. It's one of my favorite episodes of the show.
CiottiFPV's got it, yeah.
Just perfect. Capital C says, when you use motor limit, does it limit the controller inputs and the flight controller input, like when the flight controller is trying to get back to set point after a crash? Does it motor limit turtle mode? It does not motor limit turtle mode. I know that for a fact. It also does not motor limit the motor's tab. And so you have to be careful about those two things. Like if you're going to run really, really... Like, so if you're going to do a 2S 1.6 inch tinywhoop, and you've got like these 25,000 kV motors that you're going to put on there with 2S, you're going to motor limit those down to like 60, 65%. And it'll fly. When you go into turtle mode, if you go full stick in turtle mode, it'll give you that full 25,000 kV. If you go into the motors tab and you whap that thing up to 100%, it's going to explode. And so like this is one of the main reasons like you don't want to motor limit motors that are that high of a kV. Like 25,000 kV on 2S, that's too much. That's way too much. Like 20,000 kV is really the limit. If you've got a set of like 22,000s, yeah, I mean you're a little over the limit, but like 25,000 kV is way over the limit. So yeah, you got to be careful with both of those things. Does it limit the controller inputs and the flight controller input? Like when it limits... I don't know how it does it, but it limits the PID loop and your throttle at the same time. I don't know where that limiting occurs, but it absolutely... The reason why motor limiting works so well is that it both limits the PIDs and your throttle. And so outside of the motors tab, outside of turtle mode, when you go full throttle, you're only ever going to get that percentage. And... ages ago, I built two identical freestyle glides, one with 2400 kV motors, the other with 1600 kV motors, and I put them both on 6S, and I limited the 2400 kV motors down to the same as 1600, which was 82% maybe. It was a significant motor limit in there, and I flew those things back to back for months, and I didn't see any difference in runtime or feel or anything. I couldn't tell the difference between the two of them. There is a difference. There is a difference in runtime, but like when we fly freestyle, we're all over the place. Like one battery, we're full throttle for like 3 seconds to get to the top of some giant thing. The next battery, we're not. If you manage to fly like 2 batteries back to back and you fly the same route, yes, the one with motor limiting is going to have less runtime. But like in a freestyle setting, because we're so all over the place, it was never really noticeable for me. Best case scenario is you run a KV where you either run it at 100% motor limiting or like 95% or 90%. That's not going to have That's not going to make enough of a difference, and it's going to give you a little bit of headroom rather, for if you want to run a low pitch prop or if you want to run a bi-blade or something like that. But motor limiting down below 90%, you are going to start to lose a little bit more runtime. It's not that bad, but it is a thing. It is true that you lose a little bit of efficiency when the motor KV goes up. Most people, when they talk about that, though, what they don't talk about is the fact that you get more power. Like, it's people will be like, oh, you go up to a higher KV, you're going to lose like 20, 30, 40% efficiency. Like, okay, without the motor limiting, sure, because every time you go full throttle, you're going to get 20, 30, 40% more power and more RPM, right? And like, that's the part of the conversation that gets missed all the time. With motor limiting, the loss of efficiency is much less than that. And in some cases, you don't even notice it. And so motor limiting is a really good thing, but anything below like 80%, you are going to start to notice it. You never want to have a set of motors on there that need to be limited down to like 60%. Even like 70% is starting to really push the limits. So yeah, get motors that are a little bit too high in KV, but not like mega high. Wooffox says, or that one stream when you had 6 antennas on your HD zeros, that's nerdy. Yeah, I still haven't done that testing. Fizz says Skyzone O4X look like O4X's look like Jordy. LOL. There used to be a 3D print that you could put on the front of Fat Sharks to hide the rapid fire cable that had to go across them that looked like Jordy's visor, which I thought was hysterical. Capital C says, I keep burning out 18,000 kV motors on 2S, 85% motor limit when I crash into trees. Stop crashing into trees.
That's bad advice. You can't stop crashing. Crashing is how we get good. Try again.
Interesting. When you say burning out, capital C, tell me more. If it's because of the motor limiting, the windings are going to turn black. Is that happening? Capital C says 2-inch props. That's interesting. Thanks. Also, what 18,000 kV? What 802s? If those are 802s on 2-inch propellers, that's the problem. 802s are too small, and they're just getting too hot. And then the fact that you crash into a tree is the straw that broke the camel's back. You want minimum 1002 for a 2-inch prop.
I'm also wondering if he might be part of the no disarm gang and getting a prop stuck as he's crashing instead of disarming as he realizes that crashing is happening.
Yeah, tell us more. You also just said 2023s. Those are the tri-blades. That's a big propeller. That's a big, heavy propeller that's really pitchy. I don't even know if 1002s are going to be enough for that. For me, I really liked 1103s on that propeller.
I'm doing the math here. 2-inch on 18,000 kV on 2S. That is a lot.
85%
right?
motor limit, though.
With 85%, I mean, well, still 18
So
times
what's 85% 18?
0.85. It's 30,000 kV, the equivalent of 30,000 kV at 1S on 2-inch. It feels like a lot.
So that's basically bringing the motor down to 15,300 kV. I think that's still too much. So and I'm basing that on my 2-inch tinywhoop on Happy Model 1103 11,000 kV motors on those 2023 props made ridiculous power. And so 11,000 kV to 15,000 kV, that's a shitload. So yeah, if they're 802s or 1002s, that's a part of the problem. The motor is just getting too hot. It's just too small of a motor to for that big of a propeller. But yeah, even if it's an 1103 or a 1003, yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of RPM. So I think that's going to be a part of the problem. I think by the time you hit the tree, the stator is so hot that it's like it's begging for death, and then the tree presents it with death, and it says, "Thank God, capital C has been abusing me." Don't be an abuser. That's the real answer. Render says Betaflight needs to add rearm and disarm delay because I keep losing DJI footage. I try not to disarm, but it's difficult. After turtle, I rearm so fast the recording doesn't start back. You should follow the same solution to that as me, which is to turn off the auto recording thing. And you're going to lose a couple because you're going to forget to hit record, but you'll figure it out pretty quick. Here's the trick. When you turn off the auto... okay, so on DJI, this is for everybody now. On DJI, when you turn off the auto recording feature and then you pull down the top menu and you hit record, if you are disarmed, it is only going to record on the goggles. And so the workflow needs to be, you put the quad on the ground, you power it up, you arm it, let it sit on the ground, pull down the top screen, hit record. Now it's going to be recording on both the onboard DVR and in your goggles. And then you're good. And although you need to remember to hit stop on the recording at the end. Although, yes, you do. You do. Because if you unplug the quad, you've not told the quad to put the ending on that file. And so you need to remember that. You need to get into the habit of every time before you fly and every... Well, so you need to get in the habit of at the end of the battery, you pull down that menu with record on it. Because at the end of the battery, you pull down that menu, you hit stop on the recording, you change your battery, you put the new battery on, it's still there. And so that's your reminder to hit record. So you won't forget to hit record, you'll forget to stop. You'll eventually just be in a hurry, you'll pick the quad up, you'll unplug the battery, and that will break the file. There is software that can rewrite the end of the file, but what a pain in the ass. On your goggles, it will stop the recording. So you will have the goggle recording, but that's only 1080, not 4K, not 2.7K, whatever. So that's your solution. That also prevents you from having 57 flight files from one day of flying when you were crashing a lot, because every time you crashed, it stopped the file and started a new file, stopped the file, started a new file. So yeah, welcome to my world, friend.
I think Render's suggestion here though is right. Like it warrants a open up an issue with Betaflight developers and say, hey, like, don't send the disarm command, delay, be able to add a delay to the disarm command for set a number of seconds or something.
Yeah, I wonder if there's something behind the scenes that would become unsafe with. Render, you should put in a pull request. Betaflight's open source. You can do it. I don't know how to do it. Brandon
just
know how to do it.
Just open an issue.
Is that it?
Yeah, the issue is I have a problem. Pull request is I have a solution to a problem. So,
okay, good call.
Unless he's a C developer and actually wants to dive into the guts of Betaflight, which we'll all take pull requests all day long.
So speaking of, Brandon has done the thing in the place to have slightly better descriptions on the crash recovery page on the Betaflight wiki, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, it's totally doable. The Betaflight devs are actively improving Betaflight all day, every day. So yeah, feel free to do that. And let us know how you were able to do it, because some of us are dumb. Capital Z says, it's a baby turtle, and it has massive power. So much fun to fly. I'm replacing motors with 14,000 kV. Okay. I want to know. Oh, okay, there you go. Betaflight 1102s. Yeah, that might be okay. I'll be interested to see what happens on 14,000 kV. You might still want to do like a 90% motor limit or something like that, but or you might be okay. Let us know. That's super interesting. Oh,
And now it's going to revert the mic back. Hold on.
Yeah, it did the thing.
Yeah, hold on. I got to go back in here. Oh man, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Hold on. Sound.
okay, all better.
Yep, you're good.
There it is. Okay, cool. Render says Kiss just puts an MSP delay. I'll try to I'll just try to build the habit. Yeah, I lost a few files in the first like week of having that set up, and ever since then I haven't lost any files because it's not a very bad workflow. Like you're gonna have that the first time you put the goggles on. Yes, you have to pull that menu down, but like you just kind of get in the habit, especially like with O3 and O4 being your HD camera and your FPV camera. You should already be in the habit of like plugging in, looking around for a second, looking for highlights, looking for shadows, pulling the bottom menu up, changing your ISO, changing your shutter speed, checking whether you're in 4K 30 or 1080, 120 or whatever. And then so like, you know, you should kind of already be in the habit of being a camera person and checking your settings every time before you fly. And then you push that menu down and you pull the top menu down, right? It's just a little bit of a workflow thing. And yeah, after that first battery, you're fine, because at the end of the battery, you're going to pull that down, hit stop, and just leave it pulled down. And then you won't want to fly with that little top menu there, so you'll remember it pretty quick.
There was a question earlier from 4Sizzle. Quick question. What is the best DJI O4 65 millimeter or smaller tinywhoop I can use indoors? Or smaller gives me pause.
Yeah,
But also,
even without that, there isn't one. O4 and walk snail are 8 grams, 7 or 8 grams of just dead weight. And there's just no getting around that. On a 65 millimeter 1S build, that is too much. That is too much of a payload.
about 30%
The best,
increase.
yeah, it's just absurd. And so what you end up with, and so like if you really want, if you don't believe me, and you want to watch me go down that rabbit hole of insanity and try all kinds of different setups, here on YouTube, when you go to someone's channel, there's this little magnifying glass here, and that will allow you to search on just the channel. So if you search for O4 space 65, it'll probably find a bunch of stuff. Cinematic 1S 65mm DJI O4 Light Maiden and Tuning. Ultimate high quality tiny whoop build. Nope, that ain't it. That's from 2 years ago. 1S 65mm DJI O4 Light build begins. There should be more than that. Hold on. Let's put 65mm in here. Build begins. Tuning. Did I really not do more live streams than that? Here's the other way that you can search through my live streams. You go to CiottiFPV.com. This is also how you support me in the best way possible. Patreon helps me out the most. Buy something from my Etsy store. Book some one-on-one time with me through Fiverr if you really want to learn a lot really fast. Get yourself some stuff at Teespring. Support me directly with PayPal instead of a super chat, because PayPal doesn't take 30% like Google and YouTube. Here's a link to my Discord. When you join the Patreon, you're going to get full access to the Discord. Searchable live stream transcripts. Look at all these affiliate links. Use these. But look, Craig set this up. It's amazing. You can come in here and type DJI O4 65mm. Wow. I guess it is just those 2 live streams. Well, in those 2 live streams, I'm sure I went all the way down the rabbit hole. The long and short of it is, on a 65mm 1S rig, you're going to be running 0702 motors. The 0603 motors, which is 1 size up, the 802 size motors, which are 2 notches up, they're too heavy and they're too battery hungry. and so you lose runtime, you lose performance. So like 0702 motors are the motors that you're going to run on a 65 millimeter 1S rig. From a KV perspective, because of all that extra weight, you really want like 40,000 kV Weebleed motors, which are the most powerful, most efficient, the best mix of a lot of power but still good efficiency. On those motors, all of that extra weight makes it really hard to fly freestyle. It has so much momentum that it just bounces off the walls. It's just too heavy. And then the extra weight kills the runtime. So you end up with like a 1:50 runtime, which sucks. That gets the motors too hot. It gets the batteries too hot. It's just too much. The best that you can possibly do on a 1.2 inch propeller, 65 millimeter motor to motor, 1S tiny whoop for indoors is to build an itty bitty tinywhoop, which is what I've done for chasing the RC drift cars. This is as good as it's going to get from a 1S 65. This is on 32,500 kV motors from Weebleed. These are as good as it's going to get. They have decent power, but they have efficiency. So this will get a little bit over 2 minutes of runtime, just barely, just enough where it's not completely decimating your batteries. It's not a freestyle rig, though. It doesn't have the power to weight ratio to do proper freestyle stuff. It literally is an itty bitty tinywhoop. It's super fun, don't get me wrong. But flying around your house with a tinywhoop, to me, that gets pretty old pretty quick. This is fun for going outside and chasing RC drift cars, or flying around a jungle gym a couple times, and then you go to a different jungle gym, for going to Home Depot and flying around the ceiling fans and the lights, for going to the mall, it's like a tinywhoop. It's for subject driven flying. Subject driven flying is not flying in your own house, because it gets old. Subject driven flying is fun when it's different every time that you do it. And so, yeah, for flying around the house freestyle, HD is not, there is no HD setup that is light enough, unless you consider HD0 to be HD. I don't necessarily consider it to be HD. I think it's like really fancy analog. It's as good as you're going to get for flying inside the house. I personally don't do it because it's more expensive and it's heavier. And analog is totally fine for me. It feels insane to have HD0 goggles and to only use them for analog. But, you know, that's just me. Kevin is all on the HD0 train. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, for me, the style of flying that I do, you know, trying to be inverted and zero throttle as often as possible, what is it, 2 extra grams, I think, for the HD0 AIO5? Do you happen to know offhand, Kevin? It might be 1 point something.
It's pretty small. Actually, I should go look that up. But yeah,
it's more than 1 gram.
I should say, even at 65, I only have one build on HD0. I still mostly fly analog on 65. At 75 is where I've switched to doing HD0 on those.
Yeah. The other thing for me personally with HD0 is like the way that it breaks up, for whatever reason, just drives me insane. I think that the rainbow pixels just make me crazy. I would so much rather have the old school static breakup of analog. Yeah. And so, yeah, for me, it's, and for most people, if you want to fly like really fun freestyle inside the house, it's going to be an analog, really lightweight, 1.2 inch prop setup. Here's the other thing. Flying freestyle is not about image quality. It's about the cool shit that you're going to do. And so analog is totally fine for that. Like analog flying in your own house, you should be able to have pretty crystal clear video if your goggles are decent, if your receiver is decent, stuff like that. If you pick a good spot to sit where you have good coverage, that's one of the biggest things to getting good coverage in your house, is like sit somewhere, fly a bunch, notice how good the quality is, go sit somewhere else, fly a bunch, go sit somewhere else. There will be somewhere that you can sit in your house that you have noticeably better image quality and reception than other places that you sit. And that's something that I learned from Nick Burns, actually. And so, yeah, analog can be really good, especially inside the house. It's going to be the lightest, it's going to be the cheapest, and, you know, those are high on the list of priorities.
Obnoxious says 6.3 grams with motor plugs on the HD0 AIO. I presume that's the AIO 5.
Right.
Not the 15. The 15's a little chunkier.
You know,
But not
I
that
don't
much.
know what a is. That's with
I
motor
was gonna
plugs.
look.
Is that with
That's with
a
plugs.
battery lead, Bob? Do I have a
You have a 2G4 handy?
2G4 floating around that I can weigh?
And of course, they don't actually publish it on Happy Models website.
I don't.
Why would they do that? Why would they give you information to buy the thing? Oh, thank you, Zoatech. Shout out to Zoatech. He has it on a scale without a pigtail, but with motor plugs on the 2G4. It is 4.57 grams. So it's about a 2-gram increase.
Look at that! I was right on the money when I
sizable.
said 1.8. Holy shit! So yeah, more than 1 gram is noticeable on a tiny whoop. And so anything more than a gram, and like I'll take serious pause and be like, yo, if you're gonna add a gram, there better be some serious benefits to it. You know, there just isn't enough of a benefit for me personally. If there are plenty of people that say you're wrong, HD0 is low latency and the video quality absolutely looks better and it helps me hit gates better. I love that for you. For me personally, flying freestyle, it doesn't help me at all. My house stays exactly the same, so I know where everything is. The gates are in the same spot every time. And so, like, I can almost fly blindfolded at this point because I've done it so many times around here, right? And so, like, the difference in image quality, for me personally, just doesn't do anything for me. And so, the fact that it's extra weight and extra money and blah, 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 you know, that's tough. But yeah, unfortunately...
HD0? Like,
Go ahead.
the reasons I fly, even on my 3-inch on HD0, is it's not just about, well, part of it is the Nano 90 is just a special experience. Have you flown the Nano 90 yet?
I haven't, because I haven't because there's not an HD0 VTX other than that big expensive chonk bastard that works well enough outside. They're all what, 200 milliwatts max other than the big bastard?
I think that is true still. Although the big bastard has gotten smaller with the V2. Next time we're together, I'm gonna put my shit in your hands and you're gonna go fly the Nano 90. Anyway, if you are sensitive to latency, like if you play video games and like computer games especially, and you feel the latency between like 30 and 60 FPS, or especially 60 and 90 FPS, or you really value a company that is very embedded with the community, those are the reasons to fly HD0. If you really value
100% agreed.
how pretty things look, then HD0 is probably not the thing for you. And yeah, like you said, the sparkles, like a lot of people take issue with the static, the multicolor static, and I would love to see them change it just so that it's medium gray. Make it all medium gray. When you get a corrupt pixel, make it medium gray.
Yeah,
I think that would go a long way. But yeah, like there are reasons to fly HD0. There are reasons to fly the other systems. Like you got to choose what's right for you. And if you can, my recommendation is for everybody to go fly every system, because you don't know what you're missing until you fly them. And there it is. Yeah, that's it.
Agreed. And that's actually not bad. It gets worse than that pretty quickly. Yeah, I as I always say, I love that HD0 exists. They're great for the community. Just I have a list of things that I value over other things, and HD0 does not work with that list of things. But that is 100% just me. Every single one of us is totally different. You all need to make that decision completely on yourself. Don't just look at the guy on the internet and be like, well, he doesn't like it, so I shouldn't. No. Make up your own mind. I'm just a stranger on the internet. Never forget that. I am. Where am I at in the chat here? CH3FPV says on Discord posted some last builds 1S and 2S. We're at on Discord. Bob Noxious says, "Are you hungry like the wolf?" I am indeed. Capital C says, "Thanks, bro. I appreciate all the knowledge. You're certainly welcome." Jimmy Sprinkle says, "What about your Drift RX car chaser? That's an O4 on 65. I like it for some stuff." Yeah. It is. This is the world's smallest tinywhoop, right? 4K, 60, 1080, 120. Looks incredible for what it is, but I don't fly this around the house. I have flown this around the house once or twice, and that's enough. Like, I could maybe fly it a few more times around here and try to shoot smaller and smaller gaps, but it's not. It's nothing like a proper analog rig that you're going to use full throttle. You're going to throw it across the room. You're going to get 3+ minutes of runtime. It's going to be super durable. You're going to be able to bang the shit out of it, right? Like, this is not something that you want to be crashing hard. And, like, you know, the fun for a lot of people flying around the house is crashing hard, is taking chances, is doing all the stuff that we can do outside. There was a time where tinywhoops did not have the power to weight ratio, and flying tinywhoops around the house was flying forward, back, left, and right. There was no full throttle, chop the throttle, soar across the room, inverted, scraping the ceiling, catching it off the back wall, catching an inch off the carpet. Back then, this would have been the most amazing thing on earth. Things are different now. You know, we've got 16, 17 gram dry builds with 40,000 kV motors on them. The world has completely opened up inside the house for flying really exciting, three-dimensional, right? Not just front, back, left, and right, but up and down, and like zero throttle and momentum and all the stuff that we love doing outside, right? Like the gap in the way that we fly outside versus inside is almost completely gone. And like, that's magic. And so you can only fly tinywhoop and get every bit as good as the dude that's got tens of thousands of dollars dropped into 5-inch setups that's out ripping bandos and whatnot. You know, your house, a jungle gym down the street, small little spaces can become the best bandos in the world, right? Like, some of these jungle gyms are insane. A lot of times there's kids on them all the time, but like, if you can catch one of these giant jungle gyms at like a park near you without kids on it, that can be as good as that ridiculous bando in middle of nowhere Russia that, you know, so and so is ripping, and it's absolutely insane. So yeah, lightweight analog freestyle inside the house.
Personal experience, 4 and 6 year olds like getting chased by tinywhoops.
That's true. That's
Screaming
true.
with glee.
Yeah. Just try not to hit him in the eyeball.
That's right. Don't face punch a 4-year-old.
CH3 says general nonsense. All right, let me look.
Yeah, it's about a page and a half up.
Yeah, there it is. Hold on. 1S 2G4 get bar. Ah, nice. Somebody else on the 1002 25,000s. They're ridiculous, right? I'm really blown away by the if you have 1S 450 or 550 mAh batteries floating around, these Get Bar C 1002 25,000s are awesome. The tree toppers are great. Don't get me wrong. The Weebly tree toppers are really, really good. But these Get Bar C 1002 25,000s are next level. You get a little bit more power and more runtime, which is a surefire sign that 802s are just not quite big enough for the weight of most 75 millimeter 1S builds on 450 or 550 mAh batteries. And then a 2S X14. Beat that thing to death and let us know if it survives.
Yeah, I want to know if that's good.
14,000s, Gemfin 1610, very cool. You're not going to be able to beat this to death because you're only on 1mm motor shafts, but still, I'm super interested to see how that X14 holds up.
So, Ciotti, have you found an 0802 at a 2S KV, so like a 19,000 KV, that has a 1.5 mil motor shaft? Yeah, I was looking this weekend and I couldn't find one. I'm like, please, dear God, stop shaving those shafts down to 1 mil.
This is the closest that you're going to get to it. on tinywhoop there is a. It's what I have on mine. I think there are 18,000s. Hold on, let's see. Well, we can probably do this. 1.5 millimeter, and then so 27,000 kV is way too high.
Yeah.
Here they are.
That's the trouble I was running into.
So
I take 22. 19. Oh.
Yeah, so these on like an 80 to 85% motor limit are fine, but it would be really nice if there were like a 16,000 kV or even 15,000 kV that we could run at 100%. But these are really good. I've had these for a while. They're indestructible. They totally work, but you'll never run these at 100% without cooking the ESC. But I've turned these up to 90%, and and they're okay. It's a lot, but like, you know, for flying outside, sometimes you want that much power. But yeah, these are as good as it gets here.
Oh, webcam utility.
It's coming back. I can feel it. I can feel it coming back.
Coming back
CH3 says on 450 Tattoo R lines. Whoop Fox says you see that Weebleed is doing 40,000 kV with 1.5 millimeter shaft soon. I'm pumped. I know props suck, but I'm cool with that. I like a strong build because, as you said, we like to crash in the house. I took a set of 40,000. So they've been selling 0702 bells with the 1.5 mil motor shafts for a while now. And so as soon as I started selling those, I swapped the set onto 40,000s. The problem is propeller selection. The only 1.2 inch props right now that are worth anything with that are drilled 1.5 millimeter are Gemfan 1210 biblades. They're a decent propeller, but there are a bunch of much better propellers nowadays. The HQ Ultralights, the Gemfan 1219Ss. I really wanted to like that setup. 40,000s, Gemfan 1210s, 1.5 millimeter motor shaft. But every time I would fly any one of these other whoops on the HQ, mainly the HQ Ultralights, it's just like, oh, damn it. Like, I wish the HQ Ultralights weren't as good as they are. Because for many years, we were all totally happy with the Gemfan 1210 biblades. Like, they're a great propeller. But, yeah, HQ made a propeller that admittedly is a little bit too fragile. But, like, when you're flying around the house, you don't have to walk far every once in a while when one of those propellers explodes at the hub. So it's really, really, really tough. Hopefully at some point here, HQ gets on the damn ball and makes some 1.5 millimeter, 1.2 inch propellers for us. Because at that point, I mean, it's like game over in terms of motor shaft spending. We just move completely to 0702. You can buy right now on Weebleed Weebleed 0702 32,500 kV motors with 1.5 millimeter motor shafts. That motor is arguably the best of the 0702s. And then you can bell swap their 40,000s, or it sounds like they're going to be selling the 40,000s. And like between those two motors, you're good. Like some of these VCI motors are good, some of the RC and Power motors are good, but like none of them are going to be as good as a 1.5 millimeter motor shaft Weebleed / Tiny Whoop / Happy Model 0702. And so yeah, then motor shaft bending problem goes completely away, and we'll see what the next weakest link is. Probably the frames. So that's cool. I didn't know. I assumed that they would eventually sell 40,000s with the 1.5 millimeter shafts, but I haven't really cared, to be honest, because Weebleed sent me a bunch of the 1.5 millimeter bells, and so I can I've swapped so many bells on 0702s that it's not really hard for me to do anymore. But yeah, we need the damn propellers. My voice is starting to bother me, so we're gonna just run this train downhill. CH3 says, I had those 802 14,000s laying around for 5 years. The EX are just lighter. 2S build came lighter than the 1S. That's insane. Kevin, do you have anything before I dock this boat in the station of me going and getting a snack and relaxing for the rest of the night?
Oh, Lord.
You said you had news or something. You had topics or.
Oh yeah, I got plenty of stuff. Actually, so a lot of this is not super important. One thing I'm super sad about, Thumb Grippies is dead. Did you know this?
What?
Thumb Grippies, they're done. They're not doing the things anymore. And I need a set of Q-tips, M4
wow,
Q-tips
shit.
for my secondary transmitter that I had to pull out because there's something up with my primary right now.
The website is just gone.
It's just gone. Zotac has a few left over, and that's all that I can find on the internet.
That sucks.
The only other ones like this that are left are the 533 has some that are like resin printed.
Yeah. Pretty
But
similar.
that's it. Yeah, they're very similar.
Oh yeah, look, it says on the Weebleed website.
Yep.
Original Thunder Grippies have officially been discontinued. That stinks.
Yep. The other thing that I keep forgetting to mention to you, did you know that dashboard, the disarm dashboard is no longer included in Betaflight by default?
Wait, what do you mean dashboard? Like,
So that when
say
you
that
get the
again?
statistics on the final page, it's not included in the default defines anymore.
oh,
A
really?
lot of
That's weird.
manufacturers included in their default firmware that they ship, but yeah, Betaflight doesn't include it by default.
That's
I was
weird.
very annoyed by that.
So they just have all the switches turned off?
No. It's in the flasher. So yeah, you got Betaflight pulled up. Go to the flasher tab. No. Back out.
Oh, in here.
In the flasher tab, yeah. If you select a board,
Whatever, it doesn't matter.
select a board, happy model, doesn't matter. So yeah, see, dashboard is not in there. And there it is. I've had to add it to every one of the tinywhoops that I flashed recently. I don't know how long it's been that way, but
What the
I was like,
hell? Wait,
where's my
so
post-flight statistics?
why would they be doing that? That's super weird.
It's to cut down for those dang F411s. We got to get off of the
Must be,
F411.
right?
And it's,
What I'd never known that was called dashboard. What else? Is it just that? Does it called
That's-
that over here?
that's the only thing that affects me regularly.
So this post flight statistics section is just gone. Everything else
Yep.
is the same, but this is just gone,
just-
and this is
just disarm.
considered the
It just says
dashboard.
disarm. Yep.
Weird. Huh.
So yeah,
Well,
that's the thing
that's
that I
good
have
to
to
know that
remember
that's
to
how to add it
and
back.
Everybody should remember how to add that back. Yeah, because you want to see things like max RPM of your motor and flight time, arm time and things like that. Minimum voltage is another one that's super important that shows up there.
Right.
Yeah.
Weird thing to remove. Okay, so that's called dashboard. Good to know. I would have never guessed that's what it's called. How the hell did you find that out? How'd you figure out it's called dashboard?
Because I got annoyed and went a googling at some point.
Sure. As we
But
do.
that's the only one that affects me. There's other stuff in there for. It looks like. See, did you just get excited? You look like a dog that just got perked up by treats. Bag shaking.
Keep talking, dude. Keep talking. We're flying.
We're flying.
I put 6 batteries in the title, and I put the. All right, so hold on. I gotta add you to this thing. Yeah, hold on. I gotta add you in here. Yeah, we got no audio for you right now. So we want what is it, audio input cat? No, it's not that. It's what the hell is it called? Mac OS audio capture. There we go. And then we want this, and then all right. So you're back.
All right. So the people should be able to hear my soothing
And now-
dulcet tones.
I want to turn off this microphone. All right, so now you just have the Zoom microphone. You guys are going to get proper, you sons of bitches. I know you haven't been flying your 6 batteries a day. I can feel it. I can feel that you've been too lazy and sad to do it. That shit ends tonight. Fly the things that you love to fly. Is this camera really zoomed in right now? Hold on. No? What? Why does it look so zoomed in? Hold on.
It looks like it's off the bottom of the window.
It's definitely off the
view
bottom,
frame,
which is confusing.
And actually the center thing it looks like it might be off the right hand side as well. So it may just be like zoomed in too much.
Why is it? Oh, okay. I see what's going on. Here we go. Hold on. It's we need. Okay. There we go. There it is. So where's the corner? That's weird. The OBS just does shit. Okay. It's 16 by 9. That's why.
Yeah.
Well, this will be a little bit better. Oh yeah, right. That's way better. Okay, that was weird. Okay, fly your 6 batteries, you filthy animals. I still have a bunch of batteries charged from a few days ago chasing the little RC drift cars, and so let's fry them. Let's light them on fire together. I'm gonna send this tinywhoop here to Spider Sugar for him to check out and see what he thinks. This is the ultimate freestyle formula. Cockroach V3 frame, 36,000 kV 0702s from tinywhoop, HQ ultralight props 1.2 by 0.9 by 3, the Mobula 6 canopy, Runcam Nano 3, ORT micro V antenna 2G4. I have another setup like this that's super similar, and so I thought it would be cool to send it over to him and see what he likes, because we were talking whoops at Castle Crash a bunch. And I'm always interested to see what other people think about the setups that I've put tons of time and effort into getting flying as good as possible. So that'll be cool. Fly your batteries, my friends. Render says, why you gotta call me out like that? Cole FPV says, fun fact, if you flash with only HD OSD module, you cannot set SD canvas resolution. You would have to reflash with analog included.
Yeah, that's for the OSD. Yeah,
that's weird.
I gotten bit by that one before too.
Oh my god, really? I flew this battery once, you giant anus goggle. Sons of bitches. Alright, hold on. Wow. Thank God Fat Shark makes goggles and not batteries. Holy hell.
I don't think they make batteries anymore. How long have you had that battery?
Oh, just forever. They don't sell them anymore. No.
It might be time for you to move on from that battery.
Never. I can charge it with the USB port. It's the last one though. It's my last Fat Shark battery. It works for one live stream. It works for 4 to 6 batteries. It might just be a self-discharging issue. Ooh, this thing is sounding rough. Cool. Get it out of here.
Yeah. Yugen FPV says, Ciotti, I already flew my 6 retuning the new 2G4. Gonna fly another 4 here after the stream on the 75 True Choppers. Cole FPV in all caps says, you can't make me fly my 6 batteries. You're not my real dad.
Oh, God. You're not my real dad. Nice. I'm not even your fake dad, brother.
Man, it's dark.
Here he comes. See if I can catch him. Oh, shit.
Pooch
Can't
coming?
catch him that way.
Not that way. No. Whoop Fox says, I do 12 plus. I'm a whoopaholic. I'm differently flying to Castle Crash next year. Hey, Whoop Fox. Yeah, come on down. We'd love to have you at Castle Crash next year.
Oh, yeah.
Nader
There he
FPV, I
is.
don't. Oh, there he is.
A bad dog has appeared. Yes, I got it! He didn't like it though. As I was getting under him, I heard his little paws start slapping on the ground. Hey, hey.
Nader FPV with the saddest story of the night. I don't have batteries at the moment. They are arriving on Wednesday.
Well, well, anticipation is a part of the experience. Yeah, this is a good quad to send. Spider Sugar. This setup is just well balanced. Like it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything extraordinary. It does everything really well. It's nice and slow, nice and controlled. It has good power, half decent runtime. Ah, damn it. Yeah, this is a good one. Eh! Runtime's not great, I guess, but whatever. Okay! Didn't plan for that, but I'll take it. What I wanted to do is this. Because I think this sounds cool. When I power loop or Matty flip the microphone. Oh god! When I power loop and Matty flip John King. Headphone users, you're welcome. Oh no! Headphone users, I'm so sorry. You've now all died. Runtime ain't bad. 250.
No, 250 is fine. You're fine. Stop being overly critical. You're fine.
It's fine, as I sometimes say.
It's fine. Everything's fine. We're all good here. How are you?
We're all good here. All right, battery number 2. I think I'm just gonna do 3. I feel like a bag of smashed assholes. It's just absurd. Can you? There it goes. Well, now that the dog's down here, I can go back upstairs. Oh god. See if I can kill this battery in 2.5 minutes. Ugh.
I mean, full throttle over the fan, and we'll be done in about 30 seconds.
Ah, the shag carpet is not lava. Oh my god!
Ciotti, howdy Nimba, and howdy newbie. He says 250 on what, Ma? Those are 300s, right?
These are 300s, yeah. The 260 mAh batteries are very fun to fly, but they sag a lot more, and so you literally get less power. And like the last minute of the battery, the sag is like really nasty. So like they're okay for the first minute, but then the last minute, like you really, it's just, there's not, the consistency kind of goes out the window. If you, like, it's fun to have a couple of the 260s just to kind of like, it's an easy way to fly your rig around at a lighter weight to see if you want to go through the effort of saving weight. But like, yeah, unless you're on like a lower powered motor, the sag will drive you crazy if you're anything like me. So help me God, if you're something like me, I'm so sorry. Oh!
Capital C confirms. Ah, that was fun wearing Soundcore headphones.
Oh, rejected. Oh, I tried to get through that completely backwards. That was an awkward moment of awkwardness. Hey. Oh my god, why? Come on, we gotta get this. Oh, I hit the gate. Alright, come over here. I swear to God, it's harder to do it from the back of the room, but I measured it out, and it's really not different enough. There we go. That's less runtime. That's fine. I did bring this battery in a little bit earlier, though. All right, here we go. Two more. I fly 4. You guys fly 6. Do it. Bacardi and Cola. Do it. You know what movie that's from, Kevin? That's a pretty deep cut. If I'm honest. Bacardi and Cola. Do it.
It tickles my brain, but I can't remember.
I wonder if anybody would get that one. That's God damn it. I can't explain to you how annoyed it makes me when I crash behind this thing.
Taking a walk of shame.
Where is it? Oh my God, it's up here.
Upstairs.
Oh, Teddy.
Oh no, yeah. Teddy almost had a new chew toy.
Yo, look at this. Yo, look what they're selling at Home Depot. They claim that they're Christmas ornaments, but these aren't Christmas ornaments. These are the Home Depot buckets that you put things in.
Oh my god.
Because we have small things. I'm gonna buy.
Do they have
50 more of
tops?
those.
Do they come?
Tater tots?
Do they have tops? They go on top
They
to
do not.
seal them in.
They
Oh,
do not.
man.
That would be level. Although I bet you somebody has already three.
I was about to say, if they don't exist already, me and the 3D printing homeboys are gonna have to make some, because those definitely need to organize my Woo toolbox.
Yeah. The only I hate storage containers that are round though. To be totally insane. But it's worth it because they're so cool looking.
FizzFPV confirms yes on printables. Oh, I love it.
You said it's on printables?
Yeah, it's FizzBV says it's on printable. It's the billable buckets. neighbourhood says.
Nice.
Hail FPV is having a fun time. He says, here's a story in 3 messages. ELRS Wi-Fi just randomly pop up on anyone else's phone? That was weird as hell. My Wi-Fi wasn't even turned on my phone. Lol. Shit, plugged in a whoop and forgot.
Oh, wow.
Hope that boy didn't overheat.
Yikes. Oh my god, I cannot... what is happening? I can't get it. Hold on, I'll get it.
It's the sick. Blame it on being sick.
It stinks like dog right now. What are you doing, doggo? Oh my god, what is going on? Lately, over the last couple of months, the mega power loop has been all but impossible. There we go. Okay, so there it is from one side. Why can't I get it from this side? I can. I still can't. Alright, last battery. All I'm gonna do is the mega power loop. Here we go. It's on. It's time to shine. And shit my pants. Here we go! Watch a grown man poop live. Oh no! I don't get it. I don't understand. The gate is infinitely smaller than the hole in the middle of it. And yet, every time I hit the gate, how is this real life? I mean, there is an issue here where... Can you let me fly, basement? Basement, can you be cool for just a minute? There is an issue where it is off center. But I'm lining it up. I don't understand. If I get it once, I'm good. I don't need to do it twice. I'm okay with this being luck. See, what? Why? Why you gotta do me like this, basement? Oh, every time. How?
It's that Tom Petty
How do I
song.
hit it every time?
Don't do me like that.
There it is. There it is. Done. Oh! I see him. There he is. He don't give a shit no more. He don't get excited. He just stares at it. Oh, I chickened out at the last second. Actually, I didn't really chicken out. I just got it wrong. Oh, God, it looks so good. The fucking in one side dive down the bottom in this tiny cube is one of the coolest looking things in here. See, that's the problem. It's crash central. Oh god, is that satisfying now? Oh! No! It was all going so well. I'll do it again. Oh, crash recovery almost gave me a little corkscrew through it. This is great. Now I'm pissed. Because I want to go out on the good note of having hit this. Now I'm gonna get all sloppy and crappy and donkeys. One more shot before this battery's done. Oh, suck it, Trebek! I don't care that I hit the ground. Close enough. Oh boy. Wait, no. Stop doing orbits to the left. Only do them to the right, because you're worse at them that way. There we go. Yay! I hope you guys flew your 6 batteries. If not, I'm going to stab you. I promise I won't. All right, people. Kevin, you got any last minute thoughts or wisdoms or insults? Oh, did I lose Kevin? Oh, he's probably just on mute.
No. Am I on mute? No, I'm not on mute.
Okay, you're good. Any last minute thoughts or comments or insults?
I don't know. Fly battery. Do what makes you happy. And if FPV's that thing, do it every day.
There it is. Thanks for hanging, brother. Thanks for helping. Thanks to all you beautiful bastards for hanging out. I'll see you again on Wednesday. CiottiFPV.com. Support me. And I'll keep doing this, and we'll keep building stuff that flies good and enjoying FPV together forever. Here's the Brandon. Brandon's in the chat. Brandon, here's the 7-inch rig railing around the neighborhood. It's awesome. Thank you so much for your help. Here you go. And it's been on 48 kilohertz. I sent you a bunch of messages, but yeah, it's been on 48 kilohertz. Now I have it on 24. This is when it was still on 48, though. So it gets all angry when I do, y'all. Love you guys. Bye. See you Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Sounds good. Later.
Yeah. Out in the yard where the grass grows wild, CiottiFPV's goggles locked, grinning like a child. Teddy spaghetti's, fur flies, and jet wash dreams. Yeah. Chasing small whoops like a dog possessed fiend. Eyes on a neon blur, hard in the chase. Big fuzz and prop spin, all tangled in place. Yeah. Four-legged rebel with a rotor stir tail in the circus of the sky. They never fail. Schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Yeah. Shotties on sticks, Teddy's on paws. Side by side, legends breaking all the laws. Through the kitchen, over couch scale terrain. Backyard mayhem in their flight domain. No ground too sacred, no loop too tight. Fuzz, fuel, fury ignites the night. When pilot and pup lock eyes on the prize, every whoop they conquer is a fresh cut surprise. Yeah. Shotty behind the sticks, Teddy's leading the pack. Prop guard missiles unleashed, never looking back. No leash, no map, just freestyle Mike. They on the dog drone streets every day and night. Said whoops, hitting low, gotta nail the dive, Teddy. Push throttle up, feel the beast come alive. I see the neon arc, got the sticks locked in, Teddy. Yeah. Let's rip this loop, ride the roar of the wind, Teddy. Yep. CiottiFPV, Teddy's spaghetti, coming at duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed, zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. just begun. FPVs, fur-faced legends, legends singing loud, yeah. Teddy, Spaghetti, and CiottiFPV, always proud.